Hello. Somebody say something.
Hello.
Somebody say something.
Hello.
Sorry, that was me.
Yeah. Infinite loop ahoy.
Still, at least you know it works.
Absolutely, yeah. Right.
We've got a packed show this week, haven't we?
Oh, have we? Oh, God.
Yeah, lots of content. Lots of stuff.
Stuff. I like stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a video. Oh, why is it whenever Armando sends me a video, he's upside down? I don't get it. Every time, look.
It is every
down.
time.
There we go. Upside down. Brilliant.
Do you get ready for the clock?
Oh, you're joking? Really?
I'm trying to write an intro, Carlos, but the show
3, 2, 1.
seriously misbehaving.
What, the show notes?
Yeah, I just every time I try to write the intro, it keeps crashing on me.
Yeah, every now and again, it can be OneNote can be an absolute
We're on air.
pain in the posterior.
Oh, here we go. Good luck, everyone.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Well, hello, and welcome to episode 514 of the Plain Talking UK podcast. I'm Carlos, and in this week's episode, we have Airline food, always a popular one with us here, a new Boeing CEO, electric aircraft in Sweden, and Britain's oldest pilot. Wow. In the military news this week, it's all about the wedge tail and a possible new UK-made helicopter. So joining me across the village over in the PTUK Master Suite studios, not stressed at all, and he's been chilling out all afternoon, sipping pina coladas on the sunbed.
Oh, I
It's
wish.
Matt Smith.
Oh, I wish that were true. Hello. We're here.
Hello.
That's the main thing.
Yeah,
We're here.
that's
By
the
the
main-
skin of our teeth, we're here on
You're looking
time,
very-
Nev. On
Very
time.
professional, very
Thank you.
professional.
Yeah.
With the pen in the pocket, I will say.
Oh, sorry.
No, it looks good.
No. It's all right.
Looks professional.
It's a Lexum one. Look, it's the company. Here you go.
Oh.
Anyway,
Free advertising.
yeah.
Yes, if you need insurance, just see Matt. But anyway, good day, Matt. Yeah, I've been home all week so far.
Oh,
this week,
have you?
this
Oh,
week.
all right. Rub it in.
But, I know. Well, we've got to have a holiday every now and again. haven't we? Yeah. But you're recovered from our glorious weekend.
Oh, wasn't it wonderful? Oh, it was so much fun. And
Yeah.
I don't know quite how I missed it, but I hadn't been to... It was obviously an exceedingly long time ago since I last went to Beccles Airfield. And it was... I mean, it couldn't have been more different. It was like a lovely little village, wasn't it?
Yes.
With all this, it's like its own little fabulous village. So it was an absolutely awesome and pleasant surprise when I got there to discover that. And oh my goodness, the food! Oh my!
Yeah, it's safe to say they have spent a few quid on the place since you were last there, Matt.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's very good. Very popular club now as well. which is a
Yeah.
good
I'm
thing
not surprised.
when it
Great
comes to
vibe,
GA.
great atmosphere, and all
Yeah.
sorts.
Yeah. But also a member of the flying team from the weekend across the fields and glens and dales of Buckinghamshire is, of course, our connoisseur of all things BA and Seat 1A. It's Neville Bounds.
Yeah, I've only just got back, actually. It's such a long way. Taken me 4 days to return.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Yeah, get that.
But anyway, no, it was a great weekend, wasn't it? Lots of great to see lots of people there. We'll show some video of all that later on. Yeah, it's been a very hectic couple of days. Well, the first half of the week has. For me, Llanelli and back, and then Brighton and back. So, yes, I've been piling the miles onto the motor. But a bit of a quieter day today. I think a lot of my customers are on holiday and they do not want to see me. So that's probably a good thing. So I had a day of a bit more normal stuff today at home, I'm pleased to say. But no, lots to pack into the show tonight. So very much looking forward to it.
Thank you, Nev, and also thanks for making the trek all the way here on Saturday. It's very much
so good to see you.
Yes, and Mrs. Nev as well. Good to see Mrs. Nev. But yeah, it was a good Saturday we had. Also, another member of the team who joined us on Saturday
and can I say very much unexpectedly as well?
Yes.
It took taking the mickey out of me as he's driving down the A146 at Beccles asking for a traffic update because I was on the radio at the time.
Yes, I think it's safe to say that unless Armando would have been there, I think Armando would have been the furthest travelled member of the team. But travelling probably the longest distance you could possibly travel in the UK, it was, of course, Nick Codling.
Yes, hello. Yeah, it was, I think, in total about 720 miles.
No, don't put a number on it. No.
Driven this weekend. So, yeah, it was quite a long way, but it was lovely to see you chaps in person for a change.
Oh, we had such a good time as well, didn't we? Such a great
it was
day.
quite funny. So I was, as Matt alluded to there, I was cheekily texting him for traffic updates on Park Radio on Saturday morning.
and I fell for it hook, line and sinker because I thought, what on earth is he asking about that for? He's like, first of all, I was like, how does he know that the A146 at Beccles is called that? How?
They have this thing called Google Maps. It's really good.
No, it's good. It's good to see you, Nick. It was really good to see you, and thanks for making the trek here as well.
Yeah, likewise. It was brilliant. It was really nice to see everyone, and and good to see Captain Al as well, which was nice. And nice that he made the trip across in his Piper, and what a lovely aircraft that is as well.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Really good fun.
Also joining us this week on the show, he's back after being away for hundreds of years. But he's back with us. It seems like a long time.
How is that possible? He's only 21. How is that possible?
I know. It's our resident A320 captain. It is, of course, Andy.
Hello. Yes, I'm back. I've finally returned from holidays and various other trips and bits and pieces. It was lovely in Italy. It was like 38, 40 degrees over there. It was very nice.
Oh, dear. And how are things in the world of aviation, Andy?
Busy. Very busy.
Good.
It's that time of year now where I'm getting everything ready for the winter, so it's busy. But it's all good to be busy, isn't it?
Yes. And plenty of sim action going on as well, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes. Everything sim and flying a lot.
Oh, good. That's what we like to hear. Busy team. But I'm glad to have you back on this week, Andy. As we said, we have missed you the last few weeks. We definitely have.
Oh, I've missed all you guys as well.
Thank you. So we're going to say a hello to everyone who's joined us in the live YouTube chat room this evening. Captain Cruz is there at the top of the list there. Good evening to you. Our local listener, Mazouz. Hello to you, Mazouz. Shame we missed you on Saturday, Mizzou, so it'd been good to have you across there. Alan White as well. Hello to you, Alan. Our resident Dublin listener is there.
Why didn't he come? I don't think that's dedication. Or
yes, he could have flown into Norwich.
Well, he did have an excuse in that it was the Bray Air Show.
Oh, yes.
So if anything, we should have gone to see him. But
fair, yeah.
Anyway, so no, we will see him. I think at Duxford in a few weeks, hopefully.
Oh, good.
Ah, cool.
And also hello to Tanya. Hello, Tanya. Good to see you in there. Jonathan Warner's in there as well, saying good evening, PTUK land. Mr. Warner is currently down to his last 6 million photos.
No, he's done it. No, he announced. He's done it. He's done. Yeah, no, he announced on socials. He'd nailed it.
Oh, my word. Well done, Mr. Warner.
Doing some nice pictures from Lakenheath as well, I think it was.
He doesn't stop, does he?
Yeah. No, I have heard a rumor he does have a job, but
can you imagine how many of these things, these SD cards, Mr. Warner must have laying around in his possession.
I don't think he has ones like that. He has special ones for his camera, I should imagine.
Hobby Time is also in there. Hello to you and Bill. Hello, Bill. Good to see you as well tonight. Captain Cruz, the lovely Mash is in there. Hello to you, Masha. Good to see you in the chat room tonight. Our main man, Micah. He's made it to the chat room. Hello. Blimey. We haven't seen Micah in the chat room for years. Nick Codling's also in there this evening. Good to see you in there, Nick. Even though you're on the call with us as well, but that's always good. And also Neil Bryden as well. Hello to you, Neil. Good evening to you. And thanks to everyone for tuning in this evening for the show. Don't forget, if you're listening to us as an audio podcast, we are live on YouTube every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And you can find us on YouTube. Just search for Plain Talking UK. Click the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when we're live and broadcasting new episodes like we are right now. So, we've got loads to get through tonight on the show, and we have got another very interesting a retro airline ad of the week this week. It's safe to say. A bit of a treat for you all again. So, if all the team's ready, let's do some commercial news.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
So the first one this week in the commercial news segment is from timeout.com. And it's a subject we love talking about on the show here all often, other than aviation, is, of course, aviation food. So, revealed this week, the airlines with the best in-flight food. Now, it'd be good to see what Nev's thoughts are on this, especially. Money Supermarket, who website we have all heard of here, I think, in the UK, have analysed a staggering 27,000 passengers' reviews to see which operators' in-flight meals are first class. There are loads of factors that we can take that can make unbearable long delays, lack of legroom, even sitting next to someone you don't want to. But having to make do with claggy microwave meals can make that long-haul journey feel 10 times longer. Or if you're on the flight deck like Andy, having crew meals. More on that later. In-flight meals have got a bit bad rep, but if you fly with the right airline, you might be pleasantly surprised. That's thanks to a new study from comparison website Money Supermarket. We can shed some light on the operators who know how to pack some flavour. The comparison website analysed 27,000 people, as we said, reviews of over more than 100 airlines to see which have the best onboard meals, and the results are in. Claiming the top spot with an impressive average score of 8.6 out of 10 across all cabin classes. Is this for real? Was Kuwait Airways, which offers a range of food from multi-course options in economy to lobster and beef in their royal class service. My word, Nev. In second place, it was Oman Air. Now, that does surprise me, which scored 8.44. And in third, it was Middle Eastern Airlines, which scored 8.39. In fact, airlines based in the Middle East did very well across the board, with other operators such as Qatar Airways, Emirates, Etihad, and Gulf Air all scoring at least 7.4 on average. So let's have a look at the below list. Now, starting off in at number 20, it's Tarom. Refresh my memory, Andy. Tarom is
yes, come back to me in a second.
East European Airline, I think it is, yeah.
It is. It's a very small airline.
Ethiopian Airways at number 19. Etihad at number 18. Then it's Eva Air, JetBlue Mint, Emirates, who I thought would have been a lot closer to the top of the list. And then it's Qatar Airways, Austrian Airlines, Belavia, never heard of those. Perhaps you might have heard of those, Andy. Asiana Airlines, Swiss International Airlines, or SAS, Air Mauritius, Turkish Airlines was after then, JetBlue, then Aegean Airlines, Air Baltic. In at number 4 was Air Algeria, Middle East Airlines in at number 3, Oman Air, and then Kuwait Airways. Rather interesting list, I will say, of carriers there, considering that, BA are not in there, Virgin are not in there.
Is it because their food is rubbish?
Well,
I think that's the right answer, Matt.
it must be. I would never have thought of having Kuwait Airways at the top of the list for food, but obviously their food must be first class.
I've never flown on Kuwait. There's quite a few on this list I've never flown. Taron, by the way, is Romanian.
Romanian.
You'd get there in the end. But yeah, the food varies. Even on one airline, I've flown Emirates a lot, and sometimes the food has been absolutely outstanding, other times it's been terrible. So I guess it all depends what you got on the day as well.
Nev, what are your thoughts not seeing your airline in there?
Well, now, you know I hate to correct people, but Swiss International Airlines is not SAS. That's Scandinavian Airlines system, who also do not appear in the list, funnily enough. Strangely, I have had quite good food on SAS over the years when I used to fly them almost weekly, actually. One of the best meals I ever had was going from Copenhagen to Tokyo. That was really nice. But you had to like fish. I mean, obviously the Scandinavians have a bit of a penchant for that particular cuisine. And it wasn't my favourite, but the bits that I did have were very tasty, I have to say. And that is quite a long flight from Copenhagen, even going the short way round, if that's across the polar route. No, I'm not surprised that British Airways isn't in there. Their food is extremely variable, and I think if it's consistency you're talking about, then BA and Virgin probably shouldn't be in that list anyway, I don't think. So yeah, for me, I would say Scandinavian are probably. I say that. I mean, I'm going back to the late 90s and early 2000s. I've not flown regularly with SAS for years, so it might be different now. And of course, there's different kinds of economic pressures on the airlines, isn't there? So maybe their food is not as good as it once was. But that's my 2 penneth worth anyway.
Yeah, I think with the long haul, for me, I mean, Emirates has always been very good, even in economy.
I can't wait to try it.
It is really good, really good food, and there's loads of it as well, which is always good. Long haul as well, I think Air Canada are very good with their ice cream sundaes, which is quite nice, which is all very good, and choc ices as well. But also American Airlines, to be fair, when I flew with American last year, the food was absolutely brilliant. But it was in business class, but it was damn good food, really good food. But yeah, what do you think, Mr. Smith? You are a connoisseur of fine food.
I wouldn't go that far.
any warm panini stick out in your mind over the?
I must admit that I have had the panini on said low cost carrier, and I still maintain to this day that it's exactly Masher. I'm with Masher on this. Where's the Ryanair panini? I actually really enjoy the cheese and ham one. Is actually really rather nice, I still maintain, although it's weird, is it? I always say this wrong. Is it
Lavazza? Yeah,
Lavazza or whatever it is, the coffee brand that they do, where you essentially drink the coffee through the filter, is, to be honest with you, probably one of the nicest coffees that I've had, other than having it from, like, an actual barista. I thought it was really, really nice. Andy's losing the will to live by the look of it. But yeah, I thought it was really nice. I do remember travelling when I went out to New Zealand, and it was Malaysian Airways that I flew on, and I think it was food that would have otherwise been very much out of my comfort zone, but I went with it anyway, and it really introduced me to a whole world of amazing flavours and spices. So I actually seriously rated their food, actually. And bearing in mind I was only in economy there, I thought their food was really nice. But yeah, to be fair, the Lavazza, there we go, including the gimmick how to drink it fresh brewed is great. Yes, it is the challenge, isn't it? It's not quite sure. It's weird because you're drinking it through the filter the wrong way, if you like. So the granules are in the cup and then you drink it through but I had it when we went out to Dublin, didn't I? Remember?
Yeah.
Do love it.
Darren in the chat room, Andy, has got a comment. I'm guessing this rings true, obviously, with you guys on the flight deck.
Well, I don't drink tea or coffee, so I can't give you an answer on that. But everything tastes worse in the flight deck. The food we get, whoa, it's generally, as I've sent you many pictures in the past, a lump of beige, a lump of brown, and a streak of green, and then you just have to try and taste it and see what it's like. It's not first class food, that's for sure.
Right. Okay.
I think we all assume, Andy, as passengers, that you guys get the best quality food on the flight deck.
I'll bring my own. Okay, easier that way.
There we go. That's cleared that up, everyone.
Well, there we go. That's taken an unexpected turn.
Yeah. Now, Nev, moving on, you've got the next one about Boeing.
Yes, well, it's about time Boeing did something, isn't it? This is on the FT.com, and it says that Boeing has named Kelly Ortberg as its new chief executive, handing the former head of one of its suppliers the challenge of steering the plane maker through one of the biggest crises in its history. The appointment of Ortberg, which will start on August the 8th, which is tomorrow, and join Boeing's board, ends months of speculation after Dave Calhoun said in March that he would step down from the job by the end of the year. Boeing has been reeling since January when a door panel blew off a 737 MAX during a commercial flight. Though no one was killed, some passengers were injured, and the accident recalled twin fatal crashes in 2018 and 2019 that the company had struggled to put behind it. Ortberg is an experienced leader with a well-earned reputation for building strong teams and running complex engineering and manufacturing companies, says Boeing's chair Stephen Mollenkopf, who led the search for Calhoun's replacement. Kelly has the right skills and experience to lead Boeing in its next chapter. Well, the 64-year-old ran Rockwell Collins, which makes avionics and cabin equipment, for 5 years and helped oversee its $30 billion tie-up in 2017 with United Technologies, now known as Collins Aerospace. It's part of defense contractor RTX. Ortberg, who lives in Florida, would move to Seattle for the new job. Well, that's going to be a shock for her in terms of temperature, I can tell you, having been in Seattle in the coldest of winters. So she's going to move to Seattle, says a source familiar with the situation. Boeing moved its HQ to Chicago in 2001, creating discord over whether executives were too far removed from daily operations. It moved again in 2022 to Arlington, Virginia, to be closer to its customers at the Pentagon. I'm extremely honoured and humbled to join this iconic company. She says there is much work to be done, and I'm looking forward to getting started. Well, she began her career in 1983 as an engineer at Texas Instruments before joining Rockwell Collins as a program manager. Many in the aerospace industry had strongly favoured an engineer taking the top job at Boeing, with critics suggesting it had lost its way after prioritising shareholder returns over investment in engineering and innovation. The new chief executive will be under immediate pressure to restore confidence in the quality and safety of Boeing's manufacturing operations, as well as finding ways to ease the supply chain strains that have hobbled the industry since the pandemic. Boeing's airline customers have been angered by delays in plane deliveries during a period in which rival Airbus has won market share. Rob Stallard, who's analyst at Vertical Research Partners, said Ortberg was a very good hire, and in our experience, Kelly was an excellent CEO of Rockwell Collins. What he brings to the party is not only a wealth of aerospace and defence experience, but also a record of running a company with an excellent corporate culture. Clearly, there are massive numbers of problems at Boeing, but with Kelly at the CEO, we think there is at least a chance of fixing them. I've just realised I've been referring to Kelly as a woman, when it's probably a man, according to this article.
Yes, I didn't want to correct you there, Nev. But
no,
yes.
but so I do apologise to Kelly. However, It's about time we had someone who is passionate about engineering and manufacturing at the top of the tree. I think that has definitely been a problem in the past. And if you go in the recent past, if you go back a long way to 747, 757, 767 programs, and actually the 777 program when Alan Mullally ran that, that was definitely a much better time for Boeing. So hopefully this is going to signal the turnaround for them. But they need to do something, that's for sure.
Mm. Now, Andy, you've got the next one, and it's all a sustainable flight story again.
Yes, this is from flightglobal.com. Gotland partners with L-Fly and Heart for sustainable flight push. The government of Gotland is to collaborate with electric aircraft manufacturers L-Fly Group and Heart Aerospace to achieve a goal of starting zero-emission commercial flights to the Swedish island by 2027. Gotland? It is Gotland, isn't it? Nev, you?
It is, yes. It's actually Jotland.
Jotland, there we go. Located in the Baltic Sea off Sweden's east coast, has a 61,000 strong permanent population, but sees a large influx of tourists during the summer months. It is entirely dependent on aircraft and ferries for its transport needs, but is seeking more sustainable solutions for the future. Working with the two airframers, Regional Gotland will explore operational needs, technical requirements, ground infrastructure and maintenance, as well as business models for electric aircraft. This is covered by a letter of intent, and the agreements do not entail any payments or commitments for future payments. Norway-based L-Fly is developing an electric seaplane called Naomi, capable of carrying up to 13 passengers, while Swedish firm Heart is working on the ES-30, a hybrid electric 30-seater aircraft. Service entry in both cases expected towards the end of the decade. The two developers are targeting all-electric range of 108 nautical miles, which is around 200 kilometres for their aircraft, which should allow them to serve the Swedish capital Stockholm from Visby, Gotland's biggest town. Visby Airport has been working on electrification initiatives for some time, inaugurating initial aircraft charging infrastructure in 2021. Wow, that's something I've never heard of before. Basically like Tesla sockets for your aircraft. That's brilliant. Region Gotland has also developed a 15-step roadmap for the introduction of electric aircraft. So there we go. What do we think? Is it viable?
Yeah, for short distances, definitely. Yeah. However, of course, the temperatures in that part of the world are extremely cold during the winter, minus 20, minus 30 degrees centigrade quite regularly on the ground. However, this particular island is used a lot for Swedish summer homes and that kind of stuff. So this is a place where people go during the spring and summer mainly. So it may not be such a problem, but let's see how it goes. But I mean, that seems to me a good initiative for that kind of aircraft, definitely.
Yeah. And this actually seems like it could work compared to some other ideas.
Yep.
Just trying to think what aircraft that reminds me of. That first picture on the story there. It's like an
Dash 8.
Yeah, that's it. Just trying to think then. Dash 8, yeah. Like a Q400.
Yeah.
Matt, you've got the next one all about a very popular show that's been going on just recently.
Yes, so I hear. Not one that many of us. Nev, I don't think you've not made it yet, have you? No.
I haven't.
Andy?
No, but it's on the bucket list.
Yeah, and I think that goes for all of us here, really. But maybe we should see what we can do about that very, very soon. I think that'd be an awful lot of fun. But anyway, avweb.com is the source for this one. And the headline is the EAA AirVenture reports record attendance, exhibitor participation. The Experimental Aircraft Association, the EAA, reported today that last weekend's AirVenture Oshkosh event set set records for attendance and commercial exhibitors. Continuing to bounce back from COVID-19 challenges, the week-long celebration of general aviation has leapfrogged into numbers surpassing pre-pandemic norms. Jack Belton, who is the EAA CEO and chairman, said this year's tagline was "Inspiring the future of aviation," and AirVenture 2024 certainly did that in countless ways. The mix of innovation, history, excitement and fun that is a hallmark of Oshkosh was present throughout the grounds and made the event a memorable one, filled with numerous only at Oshkosh moments in the air and on the ground. Overall, attendance was tagged at approximately 686,000 clicks of the turnstile. What? That's a frightening number, isn't it? Besting last year's record total of 677,000. There were 861 commercial exhibitors on site, a record. More than 10,000 aircraft flew into Whittam International Airport, Kosh, as it is known, and surrounding overflow airports in east central Wisconsin. According to EAA, air traffic at Kosh totaled 16,780 operations over the 11 days surrounding AirVenture, averaging 113 takeoffs and landings per hour during the hours the airport was in operation. A total of 2,846 show planes were parked on site, including 1,200 vintage aircraft, 975 home builds, 337 warbirds, 154 ultralight light planes, 82 aerobatic aircraft, 65 seaplanes and amphibians, 23 rotorcraft and 10 balloons. Oh, do love a balloon. More than 15,000 campsites split between aircraft and drive-in locations accommodated more than 40,000 AirVenture attendees. Close to 6,000 volunteers put in more than 250,000 hours of work to help support the event. EAA social media reached out to 23.9 million people worldwide. Total social media video views beat last year's number by 149% at 17 million, reflecting an increase of followers of nearly 45,000. Live streaming and on-demand video output accounted for more than 142,000 hours of AirVenture coverage. Looking ahead to AirVenture 2025, planned for July the 21st to the 27th. There we are, stick those dates in your calendar. Pelton said that we've already received plenty of ideas for next year, and a little bit later this summer we'll begin reviewing what might be possible. Our annual goal is to create a gathering of people and airplanes that is found nowhere else in the world and continue to improve the experience for EAA members and visitors. And Nick has said in the notes here in bold green shouty letters, when are we going?
Yeah, thanks to Armando for sending in that one. That was, I mean, just staggering statistics.
Beyond staggering.
Figures are ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I've just even those, how many, it was all the different commercial exhibitors, 861.
Yeah,
I mean, your credit card would be absolutely ruined by the end of the week, wouldn't it?
Carlos would be divorced with the things that he had bought.
Yes.
To be fair, there would have been. He's got a pitot tube that he's now very proudly showing. That what was at dinner, and I think everybody can vouch for me on that one. That was at dinner, definitely a bone of mild contention.
It's had a bit of an upgrade. I have been.
What on earth is it sat on?
It had to be mounted on something because it won't obviously stand up on its own. So
Right.
I made a little plinth for it to sit on, but it's
Carlos, what is it a pitot tube from?
737
Oh, what, classic NG?
NG.
Very nice.
Yeah. So yes.
Totally lost on me. I just don't get it. I'm still slightly perplexed as to why.
I couldn't tell you which particular aircraft it's from, but it's from a 737 NG. So.
And I'm still slightly perplexed to try and sort of ascertain precisely why it's a nice thing to have a window from an aircraft stuck to your wall, where it doesn't look out to anything other than the wall.
It's just love. I just love it. I love it.
We'll have to have hobbies, Matt. We've got to have hobbies, haven't we?
I mean, sure.
I did actually say, I said to Mrs. Nev when she was over at the weekend that perhaps Nev might think of adorning his walls at home, the studio, with pieces of BA.
Oh, no, absolutely not. The soundproofing is the only way to go.
Didn't really sort of continue that conversation on much from there, so...
No, I think that would be full non-deaf ears, actually. But yeah, not really. I'm impressed, that you've got away with it for as long as you have.
Agreed.
And that you've not actually been thrown out of your own house. Although you are moving to a new building within your house, aren't you? Because of this ridiculous hobby of yours.
As he carries on, I have no doubt at some point that there will be at least a couch and or a bed in it at this rate.
There is a chair I'm looking at online, but that's more on that later. Anyway, on that bombshell, moving on to the next story, which is me, funnily enough. NewYorkPost.com, this one. And actually, this one, I'm glad you put this in here, Nick. So I saw the video actually a few days back when it was on the social medias. And I didn't think it was all that bad. But anyway, Air Canada flight cancelled after flight attendant goes berserk when passenger asks for a blanket. So a Montreal-bound Air Canada flight from Morocco was cancelled after a flight attendant was caught on camera ranting and raving at a passenger who'd reportedly requested a blanket. Video of the incident aboard Friday's flight, AC-73, from Casablanca, shows the enraged female flight attendant gesturing angrily while yelling at unseen passengers in both English and French. She said, "You will behave or we will get off." The flight crew member bellows in now viral footage captured by another passenger. She said, "I don't want no bullying against my crew," she said. She ignored the request to get the captain and was filmed storming up the aisle before turning around and shouting, "Everyone behave, be quiet or you're getting off." A meltdown was instigated by a passenger asking for a blanket, CTV News reported. Air Canada confirmed that the flight was cancelled with a different crew brought in to take the passengers to their destination on Sunday. Passengers would also be offered compensation for both the delay and the unsettling incident, the airline told CTV News. So they said, "We are taking the incident very seriously," spokesperson Christophe Hinebel said. "It's under review and we'll take appropriate action. We apologise to our customers and deeply regret their experience today fell far short of what they've come to expect when flying with Air Canada." Air Canada told CTV News it was investigating the incident and will be compensating passengers for their inconvenience. Now, I don't know whether you've got the video there, Matt. Have you possibly?
He's just had to pop downstairs for I don't know whether he's got an Amazon delivery going on.
Oh, okay.
Else, but so we might not be able to see that just.
Well, there is a video, like I said, anyway, on social media, and I don't know whether you had a chance to see the video, Nev. But I mean, compared to what I've seen on board aircraft before, from what passengers get up to, I mean, I thought this was quite tame. I don't know what you...
Well, yeah, I was going to say, compared to some of the stuff we've seen, that's quite a minor event, really, isn't it? But yeah, I think people just need to just behave and be nice on aircraft. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, the trouble, I suppose these things, you know, you're only going to hear about them because of social media, really. Before camera phones and before social media and the internet, you never heard about any of this stuff at all, or very rarely, unless there was a diversion and you got to hear about it, you know, a day later or something.
I thought the worst thing about this video, which was on social media, Neb, was the fact it was done in vertical.
Oh, well, that's just standard now. I've actually given up complaining about that since the TikTok generation have spoilt my video format. So I can't even comment on it anymore.
How far do you think, Andy, the crew should be able to go when it comes to, you know, venting their...
Yeah, shouting at passengers and this sort of behaviour is never acceptable. But I was just thinking about the story then. We don't know what's gone on in this particular cabin crew's own life, especially if she wasn't even expecting to be on this trip, got called out last minute. That's caused all sorts of stresses for her. And then there's this asking for a blanket's been the straw that broke the camel's back in this way, really. But again, it's not an excuse for her to do that. It's just people have a lot of stress and stuff in their lives, don't they? So you never know what caused it. But I think they definitely did the right thing to cancel the flight and get a new crew, because that was never going to work from then on.
Yeah.
I bet you're grumpy when you're called out at the last minute. I wouldn't like to be on one of your flights when you've just, had a massive standby moment. You've just had to turn up.
Well, when have you ever known me be grumpy, Nev? Oh, unbelievable.
It's a terrible slur on your otherwise unblemished character, is it not?
I know. I'm quite shocked. No, yeah, everybody has grumpy days, don't they? Especially when you get called out to go somewhere with miserable weather at a miserable time of year. Yes, can be quite grumpy. But I try and smile.
Oh, well done, you, sir. Well done.
Standing at the flight deck door with your hat on, greeting the passengers as they board, no doubt.
Yes. Welcome on board. Welcome on board.
No form of internal seething or anything like that. No.
You should always worry about people who stand and smile all the time. That's what I always say. Hiding something behind that smile.
Amen to that.
Now, Nev, you've got the next story.
Dinner's ready.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought that was here. Nev, you've got the next story whilst Matt tends to his burning food. This is all in flight again.
Yes, it's on the onemileatatime.com. And it's all about Cathay Pacific's new safety video showing off Hong Kong. And it's designed to promote Hong Kong as a destination. And the video was produced in collaboration with the Hong Kong Tourist Board. The video is intended to highlight what a vibrant city Hong Kong is and uses that as a backdrop for providing safety information in an engaging way. The safety video captures many of Hong Kong's popular sites, like the pedestrian crossing Causeway, Bay Sogo, the Peak Tram, Clearwater Bay Country Park and Dragon boat races. The safety instructions are around 6.5 minutes long, which does sound quite long, but it is actually in 2 languages. Well, nowadays, airlines put quite a bit of effort into their safety videos. It's something that just about every passenger will watch, and therefore it's viewed as an extension of the brand and as a marketing opportunity. Furthermore, many airlines assume that passengers are more likely to watch a safety video if it's entertaining. Well, in recent years, we've seen airlines go in one of 3 directions with safety videos. Some safety videos highlight a carrier's home country or destination. Some of them are intended to be humorous or entertaining, and some safety videos are just intended to convey information in a straightforward way. Well, given that so many airlines have gone in the direction of just going either into the straightforward way or making it entertainment, I think it's quite good actually that they have gone into a safety video that's easy to understand while still being calming and quite visually interesting. They have... this is written in a very strange way, Nick. I'm finding it very difficult to read this. But I think that, well, the summary of it is it's probably an improvement on the previous one. And I think that a lot of them that are coming out now are probably learning from other people's errors in making them. But as long as they've got, the main information in there and it's informative and it doesn't go into some sort of thing like we had with the BA one the other week, then I think it's probably a good thing.
Indeed.
Yes, we've got the video in the play, haven't we? Yeah. Should we have a little look and see what that looks like?
Okay, here we go then.
Welcome aboard Cathay Pacific.
歡迎乘搭國泰航空。
Your safety is important to us, so please take a few minutes to watch the following video as we present the safety features of this aircraft.
你嘅安全對我哋嚟講非常重要，請用幾分鐘留意呢段短片。
You can also any hand luggage or large items in the overhead compartments for takeoff and landing.
如果你有隨身攜帶手提行李或大型物件，喺起飛同降落前，請確保放喺行李櫃裏面。
Please ensure that personal electronic devices are switched off or set to airplane mode. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi function can be used throughout the flight. Use of radios and transmitters is not allowed.
請關閉個人電子用品或調校至飛行模式。飛行期間，你可以使用藍牙同無線上網功能，但請唔好使用無線電傳送設備。
If your electronic device becomes trapped in your seat, please don't adjust the seat yourself. Instead, ask our crew for assistance.
如果你嘅電子用品攝咗喺座位裏面，請唔好擅自調校座位，並通知我哋嘅機艙服務員。
You can place any small items underneath the seat in front of you.
你可以將細件物品放喺前面嘅座位下。
This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking or using e-cigarettes anywhere in the aircraft is against the law.
呢班係禁煙航班，喺機艙任何地方吸
So
煙
we'll
或
bring
使用
it
電子
to an end there. Trying to think the best way to describe this really is it's
I suppose when you compare it to the BA one we showed, what was it, last week or the week before?
yeah, last week I think it was, wasn't it? It's. I mean, I'm gonna put myself out there a bit and say Nev is probably not going to mind this one too much, mainly because it's not really that gimmicky, is it? I think that's something that's quite important here. It is focusing on the information, if you like, rather than. Oh, hello.
Rather than.
So we'll stop that video now.
Okay, something's going terribly wrong there. Oh, I see. Right, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. There we go.
There we go. That's better. We can hear. Yeah, I just think the BA one was very dramatical. What we saw, with all the glorious backdrop and the British country house and stuff like that. And this is along those similar lines, I think, but obviously with a different kind of swing because it is obviously for Cathay Pacific. But I don't know, bit samey. I mean, what's the chat room saying? Captain Cruz, here we are. Captain Cruz makes a point here. Can you say that, Matt?
Yeah, it says we'll probably come to a point where safety videos just catch the attention that solely focus on safety on board a plane. Never.
The good old-fashioned way of doing it.
Yeah, where would the fun be in that, eh?
I think this video could have been better if it had just been done in one language with one set of subtitles.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing, isn't it, I suppose, where it's jumping backwards and forwards from one to the other.
Yeah, I found it difficult to follow, and it obviously it'd be half the length as well if they just chopped it down to that as well. But it's better than the BA one.
But then,
in my opinion.
So here's a slightly unusual approach on this one. This one is utterly boring. Captain Cruz is saying. Here's a possible option. I mean, presumably this video is being played as they're taxiing away from the stand, as they're sort of getting there to the...
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, if it is going to take sort of... Quite often, it's not unusual for a sort of 6 or 7 minute taxi. Am I correct in that?
Minimum.
Yeah. So, is it that bad that these videos run that long? Because, I mean, at least it keeps the passenger occupied and or engaged as you're reaching that mission critical moment, if you like, because... things are most likely to go wrong in takeoff or landing. I'm assuming. Am I correct with that?
But as well, you get to a point. I can't remember the exact number, but you only have an attention span of so long, and you need to get all of that vital information to the passenger before they start getting bored. So I do think we should go back to the old way of just doing a demo without a video. But I get on large aircraft, and there's lots of other jobs that need doing as well. It's difficult.
Yeah, indeed. Mike is making a great point, actually, saying it's like watching TV ads. Sometimes the TV ads are so entertaining, you literally have no memory of what the ad was for. I've lost count of the amount of times that's happened where you've watched an advert and you just think, what was this advertising again? What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
We'll see what other airlines come out with. I'm guessing. The airline you fly for, Andy, you still do manual safety demos.
Yeah, and it takes about a minute and a half, 2 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, you've
Yes.
got the next one about an airline that does definitely stand out with that livery.
Yeah,
sure.
It's almost Nev banana yellow, isn't it? That's the one. So Aerotime.aero is the source for this one, and the headline is Spirit Airlines defers Airbus orders, downgrades around 100 captains as well. So Spirit Airlines will downgrade around 100 captains and furlough approximately 240 pilots as the carrier looks to deliver on cost-saving initiatives. The announcement came as part of Spirit Airlines' second quarter results published on the 1st of August 2024, just days after releasing details on the introduction of a premium class product. Spirit also confirmed that it has deferred all aircraft on order from Airbus, with jets scheduled to be delivered in the second quarter of 2025 through to the end of 2026, now arriving between 2030 and 2031. Earlier this week, JetBlue announced that it would postpone the delivery of 44 A321neo aircraft beyond 2030. Spirit said that it was on track to achieve $100 million of annual run rate cost savings, with approximately $75 million expected to be achieved by year-end 2024. The ultra-low-cost carrier will also temporarily suspend the recruitment of pilots and flight attendants. Current cabin crew staff will also be offered voluntary unpaid leaves of absence. We will continue to aggressively manage our costs to maintain our position as a low-cost leader in the industry and to make every effort to maintain adequate liquidity, Fred Cromer, Spirit's chief financial officer, said. Reflecting on the second quarter results, Spirit's president and CEO said that it had been difficult to increase yields, which led to disappointing revenue results. The CEO blamed significant industry capacity increases together with ancillary pricing changes in the competitive environment. The continued intense competitive battle for the price-sensitive leisure traveller further reinforces our belief that we are on the right path with our transformation plan to redefine low-fare air travel with new, high-value travel options that will allow guests to choose an elevated experience at an affordable price, Christie said. Total operating revenue slipped over 10% in the second quarter of 2024 compared to the same period last year, while revenues stood at $1.8 billion in the year's second quarter in 2023. The figure was $1.43 billion in 2023. I would argue, if I'm honest with you, that if you are having to essentially freeze all orders, downgrade pilots, that's the bit that is where I have massive alarm bells ringing in my head here. Fair enough, not recruiting, that's fine, but I would argue that your model is not working if that's what you're having to do. Now, low-cost airlines is something that, for me, never really seems to have taken off in the States, in my honest opinion. I think Spirit are trying perhaps to be a Ryanair, if you like, in the States.
Now, to be fair, Southwest Airlines is the original low-cost airline.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Southwest inspired everybody else, Ryanair, EasyJet, Wizz, a lot of them.
Okay, fair.
But low-cost flying is very, very, very difficult to make profit on. And in fact, if you imagine a seat map of an aircraft, if you fill that aircraft up to the last row, just before the last row, is what it costs to operate, and the last 6 seats are your actual profit on that flight. That's how tight the margins are.
Right. Okay.
So, and Spirit were hoping as well to be saved in there. They were going to merge with JetBlue, wasn't it? And then it's all fallen through, and it's not happening now. So now Spirit are having to make big changes. And unfortunately, in seniority-based airlines, as most of them are in the United States, that's how it works, Matt. You're kicking out the people at the bottom of the list, and then you need more first officers, and you need less captains, so you just downgrade the captain, the ex-captain, to the other seat.
Right.
I mean, he's still in the job, And hopefully, if they turn it round, then they can start bringing those other guys back and giving the commands back to these guys that they've bumped down. But it's a vicious world, the aviation industry. And if they don't do it, then the airline won't survive. Then nobody will have any jobs.
Yeah, fair.
And I'm guessing they take a salary cut as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they were offering to pay as a captain wages in FO, I'd jump at that, definitely. But yeah, it's sad, but that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Perhaps we need to get them to move over here, Andy, because we're short of pilots here in the UK.
Yeah, we could do with some of them, yeah. If they can come and work here, I think that'd be a good idea for them.
Yeah. Andy, you've got the next one, and I hope you've not got any itches at all.
As I started reading this, I'm starting to feel itchy, yes. It's not very nice. This is from IndianExpress.com, and it's head lice forces emergency landing of New York-bound American Airlines flight. A New York-bound American Airlines flight from Los Angeles made an emergency landing in Phoenix. It's a strange place to go to, but anyway, after passengers reported seeing head lice in a fellow traveller's hair. They must have been very big lice. The incident, which took place in June, was detailed by of course, a TikTok user in a video that has since gained over 1 million views. The guy, Ethan Judelson, explained in the video, "I've been at the airport for 12 hours because my flight was grounded because the lady next to me had such an awful case of lice that we had to land in Phoenix, Arizona." He also needs to learn how to write sentences. American Airlines did not immediately provide specific reason for the emergency landing. I look around, no one's on the ground, no one's freaking out. I'm like, it can't be that dire, Judelson said. But we land, and as soon as we land, this woman across the aisle from me shoots up and rushes to the front of the plane, Judelson recalled. Passengers were left in the dark in order to be detailed about the exact reason for the diversion until they'd received an email with hotel vouchers and a whopping $12 in spending money.
All steady.
Judelson said that the flight crew promised more information after landing, but they were only informed that their flight to New York would be delayed by 12 hours. His curiosity was piqued after overhearing conversations about a lice outbreak. When he asked fellow passengers, they confirmed that the flight had indeed been diverted due to lice. Apparently those two girls, they saw bugs crawling out of the woman's hair and alerted the flight attendant. American Airlines later confirmed the incident in a statement. On June the 15th, American Airlines Flight 2201, with a service from Los Angeles to New York, diverted to Phoenix due to the medical needs of a customer. So there we are. That's, if you can see lice in somebody's hair, if that is the case, that's not head lice. That's something else.
Yeah, true that.
But very interesting to choose to divert for that. I'm not sure I would, personally.
Oh, really?
No, you're behind a locked, closed door.
Correct. I can't get an itchy head.
I mean,
what do you think?
Say that.
I mean, Nev wouldn't be able to see it in seat 1A because there's no one in front of him.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that, actually. Yes, that's yes. Except when something starts crawling up my, down my neck or something like that.
I suppose it also depends where this passenger originated from as well, if that was a cause for concern.
Yes, good point.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. Is there a possible case here that they might have been concerned about contaminating the aircraft, or possibly for kind of future flights, or potential claims from customers, that might have also claimed to have been contaminated?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, aircraft, you can use one of those bug bombs in them and clean them all out. They've got a full process and stuff. In some places, especially in Italy at this time of year, there's a certain type of flying in some of the airports. They have to actually spray the entire inside of the cabin with pesticides before every flight. So it's quite a common thing. And I've been on flights.
I'm just curious to know, is this really bad enough to divert?
Well, yes. Without any more information, I'd have said no. But
also, again, I mean, last time I looked at a map, Phoenix is not halfway between New York and Los Angeles.
No.
That was a very strange diversion.
Yeah, I think there's more to this story, but I'm afraid our TikToker didn't get the rest of the info.
How strange.
Now, the last story in the commercial news segment this week from Links Online, from Lincolnshire, I think it is.
Courtesy of Armando, no less.
Is all about Nev, but not our Nev. Well, I don't think so, Nev, unless you're keeping things from us here. Hull Beach area glider pilot Neville is still flying at the age of 95. Age is proving to be no barrier for a glider pilot who is still flying high at the age of 95. Neville Robinson, no, I didn't say Bounds then, Neville Robinson, who lives in the Hull Beach area, has recently celebrated his milestone birthday and has no plans to retire from the sport. Having started flying more than 50 years ago, Neville is still firmly at the controls of the aircraft when he takes off from Peterborough and Spalding Gliding Club in Spalding Road in Crowland. Neville continues to pilot the glider throughout the whole flight, which includes finding thermals to keep up in the air through to the landing. But he does have a safety pilot on board these days. Fellow Gliding Club member Nick White, who's 74 of Morton, celebrated Neville's achievement. He said, "I'm a long-term member of the club and have known Neville since he was started flying here, and it's an amazing feat to manage what he's done." During his 55-year flying career, Neville has flown in many countries across the world, including Canada, America. And when he was 45, he became an instructor and has put many students through their paces so that he could enjoy the wonders of gliding flight. The longest flight he had was when he shared a flight in a high-performance glider covering some 750 kilometers. Glider pilots lucky enough to be in a mountainous region can find wave systems which can take them to great heights. Neville's highest flight was over the Rockies in Canada, where he climbed to 26,000 feet. Wow. Oxygen masks had to be worn when flying above, or have to be worn when flying above 10,000 feet. 26,000 feet in a glider. Neville returned to his roots in the UK some 17 years ago and joined the Peterborough and Spalding Gliding Club. The club is happy to train, always happy to train people of any age or gender, and their youngest pilot is just 14 years old, who could be flying into the 22nd century if he follows in Neville's footsteps. There you go, Nev.
If someone joined that article halfway through, they'll think it was me. But and I'm retiring next year, but honestly, well, that's a pretty amazing feat, isn't it? Goodness me. What a top fella he is. Good name, too.
Always wanted to have a go at that. That's another thing I'd love to have a go at, glider flying. Must be so nice not having any noise from any motors at all. But, yeah, definitely would like to have a go. Perhaps you can get you have a go, Nev.
Yeah,
a younger Neville.
Well, yes, possibly. But no, I mean, it's very exhilarating, I think, isn't it? I've not done it, but Pip, who has done it, tells me that yes, it's really good. So.
Now, moving on to the next part of the show, Mr. Bounds, what have we got?
Now, I've not seen this bit, so I'm looking forward to seeing it, actually. This is the Retro Airline Ad of the Week, which has been quite a popular feature over the last number of weeks, I must say. This week, we go back to 1975, where we join the late, great Peter Sellers, who puts on quite the performance for TWA.
Hello there! May I be blunt? Flying in the USA, I find it difficult to tell one airline from another. But that's all been changed, you know. TWA introduces Trans World Service, which gives one a taste of Europe whilst flying in the USA. Lovely idea, don't you think? You'll enjoy wines of the world over Washington, continental cuisine over Colorado, quiche Lorraine, La Flake fish and chips, lasagna over Los Angeles. You'll hear Mozart over Missouri. You'll see foreign films over Phoenix. Great footage, Carlo. Excitingly underexposed. So ask your travel agent about Trans World Service and get a taste of Europe at 30,000 feet, what? Keep in touch!
It's a taste of Europe. Flying in the USA. TWA.
Well, I mean, it's not aged well, has it?
Oh, he was such a great actor and comedian, let's be honest. But just the way he dropped in there, lovely fish and chips.
It's wrong. That's what it is. Oh wow. Okay.
What do you think of that then, Nev?
No, it's very good. I mean, Sellers is obviously just, a master of mimicry as well, as well as being a great actor back in the day, both on stage, screen, and on television. And sorely missed. He's got a tremendous sense of humour and extremely funny with it as well. But that was him hamming it up at his best, I would say.
Yeah, Peter Sellers actually done 3 ads back in the 70s for TWA. We played one a few weeks ago, if you remember. That was the second one. He also done a third one, which I'm going to try and get for next week, where he plays a Scottish bagpipe player.
No.
But anyway, more on next week.
All complaints, please, to it's very wrong at apg.com. I think that's
yes. Right, Nev, you've got a little something to treat us to here next, haven't you?
Yes, I'm not going to do much of an intro for this because it's all in the video itself. But about a month ago, I was visiting Sweden, and I've been back to this Swedish Aviation Museum a couple of times actually, but I've always forgotten to take some video. So I took some video this time, and here is the result. At the beginning of July this year, I visited the Swedish Air Force Museum located at Malmen Air Base in Malmslätt, just outside Linköping in Sweden. Malmen is where Baron Carl Cederström, nicknamed the Flying Baron, founded his flying school in 1912. Malmen Air Base is home to the Royal Swedish Air School, operating Saab 105 jet trainers. Along with the Swedish Army Museum in Stockholm, the Swedish Air Force Museum constitutes the government agency, Swedish Museums of the Defence Forces. The museum itself has a collection of artefacts including aircraft, engine, instruments and uniforms. The museum has a knowledge centre with library and archives containing literature, periodicals, plans, photographs and personal files relating to aviation. The museum is part of the National Swedish Museums of Military History, which is a government agency, and the establishment of the Swedish Air Force Museum was also aided by the Östergötland Society of Aviation History, the OFS. Today the OFS acts as a support organisation for the museum and actively works at tasks such as the restoration of aircraft. The museum has been in existence since 1984 and serves both as the Östgöta Wing Squadron Museum and a storage building in Rid. The inauguration of the museum in 1984 marked the beginning of a public aviation museum at Malmen, the cradle of Swedish aviation. In 1989, the museum underwent an additional expansion with a second exhibition hall, enabling it to exhibit a large collection of aircraft from the decade following 1910 to today's Jazz 39 Gripen. In 2010, the museum had a major expansion and rebuild. The exhibitions are now divided in themes. For example, Pioneers in Aviation, describing the early developments in Swedish aviation history in the period of 1910 to 1926. Between the Wars, describing the establishment of the Swedish Air Force and the early developments of the Swedish aviation industry in the period 1926 to 1939. The Second World War, where the Swedish Air Force increased in size and the first Saab planes joined in the period 1939 to 1945. Aviation technology, Sweden during the Cold War, showing preparations made in case of war in the period of the 1950s to the 1980s. The various exhibitions, including the displayed aircraft, are shown on 3 levels in the museum. There are 2 large hangar-sized exhibition halls with a large number of aircraft and a third downstairs showing the DC-3 that was shot down in 1952 and eventually found in 2003. After interim storage, the plane was placed in its final location at the Swedish Air Force Museum on the 13th of May 2009. The 2011 Swedish Museum of the Year award is sponsored by the Swedish chapter of the International Council of Museums and the Association of Swedish Museums. The award for the 2010 Exhibition of the Year is sponsored by Forum for Exhibitors. The collection of aircraft that they have at the museum is impressive. A German-built Junkers Ju-86 twin-engine bomber and a wide range of British, American, Italian and Swedish-made aircraft, amongst others, reveal the diversity of types flown by the Swedish Air Force, including aircraft from every stage of Swedish military aviation. Noteworthy exhibition objects from the pioneering days of World War I, including an Albatros B-2A trainer, as well as Newport and Breguet combat aircraft. All service aircraft of significance from the post-war years are exhibited, from the Saab J-29 Flying Barrel, a sturdy fighter of the 1950s, to the contemporary fourth-generation multi-role fighter, the Jazz-39 Gripen. Recently, new exhibitions have been added, based around the salvaged TP-79, Swedish Air Force designation for C-47, which was shot down by a Soviet MiG-15 in 1952. There is also a Saab 39 Gripen simulator in the museum, and just outside the museum is an English electric Canberra. Vickers Varsity and Douglas C-47A Skytrain are on display, but not yet fully restored. Recently there was also a Hunting Percival Pembroke TP-83 outside of the museum, however this has been moved for restoration. Well, I must say I really enjoyed my visit there, and it's one of those places that you could spend hours at. So I spent about a couple of hours there, and I must say it's a very, very impressive facility. So if you're ever visiting Sweden and you're in that part of the world, I highly recommend you pay it a visit.
Absolutely. Love that. Nice one, Nev. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a good day out, actually. Very nice. And excellent cafe as well, which is just being refurbished at the moment. So that's important to have some lunch whilst you're there. But a really good, very well presented and also very knowledgeable people around the museum, as with many museums they're staffed by volunteers. Yeah, it's an amazing collection of aircraft, I must say.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. We can't hear you, Carlos, I'm afraid.
Sorry, that's me. I had my thing on mute. No, I was just saying that the Caravel is one of those aircraft I'd love to see, because it was one of those aircraft that never really kind of, made it very far during the sort of 70s and 80s, but always amused me. It has those weird shaped windows, if you look at the Caravel.
Yes. Yeah, very much so.
Also with weird-shaped windows was the Futuropod, which was outside. I noticed.
Oh, was that UFO-looking thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it was a prefabricated house. They're actually Finnish. So, yeah, that was quite cool. There's not very many of those left.
So is that quite easy to get to in that, Nev, the museum?
Oh yeah, it's literally halfway between Stockholm and Gothenburg, roughly speaking. So the nearest major town is Linköping, and it's actually in a place called Malmslätt. So there's buses or main roads or trains will get you there. So yeah, very nice collection, I must say, really good.
Another one to add to the list of places I want to go to. Anyway, moving on to the next part of the show. Don't forget, we have got news on the competition, which is good news if you've not already entered, isn't it, Nev? Coming up in a bit.
Yes.
And also we've got some video coming up a bit later as well from the meetup on Saturday, which is quite good. But first, it's Nev's favourite part of the show, is, of course, the military segment.
Blast up bogeys 135, 50, Angel 16, heading 340. Okay. 108 bogeys.
So the first story comes from breakingdefense.com, and I do like these aircraft. Air Force strikes deal with Boeing for E-7 wedge tail. They just look so interesting. Following a price dispute that dragged out negotiations, the US Air Force has reached a deal with Boeing to produce rapid prototypes of the E-7 wedge tail, according to the Service Secretary Frank Kendall. Andrew Hunter, the service top acquisition official, said Boeing and the Air Force were eventually able to hammer out a deal to service investment and in upgrading mission systems aboard the wedge tail that will ultimately make it more attractive to potential international customers. There is credit here for Boeing and the suppliers, he said. They did really buckle down and get their pencils out and sharpen them and do a good job to bring the cost of the rapid prototype program down. That's what we asked, and that's what they did for us, he said. They did that because there is an extensive market for E-7s going forward, not only with the Air Force, but also with NATO and other partners. And so the business cases were there for them to lean forward and get over the hump, if you will. Not that as well, the fact that Boeing could do with a few quid in the bank. But anyway, according to Hunter, Air Force officials originally believed that the requirements would be closely mirror those of the E-7s acquired by the UK. But the process went on, the requirements diverged, complicating the radar planes development and contract negotiations. Hunter also previously noted that it's not surprising that Boeing is trying hard to do their homework to avoid getting trapped in troublesome agreements like those that have contributed to losses for the company and Trouble Defence Unit. During the course of negotiations, the Air Force requirements evolved to include US-specific features, including open mission systems architecture, improved satellite communications, and enhanced GPS, which will become part of the baseline wedge tail program going forward. Ultimately, Boeing sees total sales of around 50 to 70 wedge tails, including the Air Force's planned program of record, as well as another E-7 orders that have been booked or delivered, Gillian said. The replacement for the aging E-3 Sentry, the E-7, is poised to be the Air Force's newest eye in the sky, using tools like its distinctive top hat radar manufactured by Northrop Grumman. The wedge tail can gather tracking information on targets that onboard personnel can use to help manage battle space. Boeing's vision for the E-7 also includes controlling the Air Force's forthcoming drone wingman, known as the Collaborative Combat Aircraft. We've covered that on previous shows. Reaching a deal with the Air Force adds another win for the wedge tail, which recently prevailed in a competition to replace E-3s for NATO. And demand for the platform has ever prompted Boeing to aim for an annual output of 6 wedge tails near the end of the decade. Now, definitely a sight to see. Remember, I saw one of these a few years back at Riyadh. Didn't get the chance to go on board for some reason. They wouldn't let me on with a camera, but had a chance to look around the aircraft itself while it was there. I think it was back quite a few years ago now at Riyadh. Yeah, what do you think, Andy?
Lovely bits of kit. The old E3s are all very old now, so they do need replacing. And the 7.3... the older 737 platform is a very good one as well for this sort of thing. It's a good choice by Boeing, which I never thought I'd say.
Now, Andy, you've got the next one.
Yes.
And UK-made helicopters. Do we produce anything here in the UK? I don't know where we do.
Well, we'll find out, won't we? This is from armytechnology.com, and it's Leonardo unveils ambitious plans for UK-made helicopter. At a press conference at the Farnborough International Air Show, Leonardo Helicopters outlined its plans to secure the UK's new medium helicopter NMH programme with its AW149 platform. Adam Clark, Managing Director of Leonardo Helicopters UK, highlighted the company's readiness and unique position as the UK's sole onshore helicopter manufacturer, aiming to leverage this capability to meet domestic and international demand. Our team is working extremely hard on the bid and we believe that we're in a strong position, Clark stated. For more than 5 years, we've been laser focused on the delivery of this platform to the UK Armed Forces, ensuring it will be able to go quickly into service with the operator. The contenders are Airbus, Leonardo and Lockheed Martin, and they'll receive invitations to negotiate their proposals with a decision anticipated in 2025. Leonardo offered its AW149, promising UK production, while Lockheed Martin proposes the UH-60 Black Hawk, highlighting job creation and export opportunities. The MOD's evaluation includes 25% consideration of social value and UK industrial capability. According to Global Data's intelligence on the UK defence market, the government is weighing up the domestic manufacturers offering from Leonardo's AW149 and Airbus's H175 against the lower prices and proven military record of Sikorsky's S-70M. Leonardo's AW149 military helicopter is the centrepiece of their proposal for the NMH competition. Clark emphasised the economic benefits of choosing a domestic product platform, including job creation and skill retention within the UK. We'll be providing UK-built platforms with substantial design work conducted onshore, securing high-quality jobs and skills and ensuring long-term social value for the UK taxpayer. In addition to the economic advantages, Leonardo's bid highlights the AW149's track record. The aircraft is an established product, already in service globally, and chosen by 3 different operators over the last 5 years, 2 of them NATO nations, said Clark. The platform's ability to quickly integrate into military service is a selling point, especially as ageing UK battlefield helicopter fleets are due for replacement. Leonardo has launched a production line for the AW149 in Poland in partnership with a manufacturer there. Poland has already received 2 AW149 helicopters for its land forces. The UK's Ministry of Defence, the MOD, is set to select a new medium helicopter to replace its existing fleet, which includes the Puma, Bell 212, Bell 412 and Dauphine helicopters. And the chosen platform is expected to be in service until at least the mid-2040s. Clark also mentioned that winning this contract could open up doors to an export market. With a new UK-manufactured helicopter endorsed by our internationally respected armed forces, we can address a global market for 500 medium-sized military helicopters worth tens of billions of pounds in exports, he noted. While details about this competition requirements remain confidential, Clark reiterated Leonardo's commitment to meeting these. Unfortunately, we're not permitted to comment specifically on this process and the recliner requirements within. However, we can say that our team is working extremely hard on the bid and we believe that we're in a strong position. Leonardo's approach extends beyond the AW149. The company is also developing advancements in uncrewed systems through its Proteus Autonomous Collaborative Program, which I think we spoke about before. Our latest testing program is underway with a specially built 3D printed Proteus model within our wind tunnel, Clark shared, and we're motivated towards the first flight in the next quarter. So there we are. So they do build helicopters in this country, Carlos.
Just up the road from me in Yeovil, in Somerset, at Leonardo. So if you have a look on Google Maps, you'll see a great big green bit right in the middle of Yeovil, and that is actually their airfield. And it's
I used to. They've got an NDB there. I used to when I was doing my. This is completely off topic. When I was doing my instrument rate, when I was learning to fly, we used to go there and just circle overhead the big green patch.
Yeah.
So yes, I know it very well.
But yeah. It's often the case as well that if you're driving up the A303, sometimes a really big helicopter will appear from behind a hedge and scare the bejesus out of you, as has happened to me on a number of occasions. It's surprising how menacing they look when they just appear like that. Yeah, there's a lot of training flights go on around that area. So it's, a very big manufacturing base. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, doesn't quite look as menacing as a Black Hawk, it has to be said. But it would certainly be good from a UK manufacturing point of view.
Jobs, if it means jobs in the UK, it's always a good thing.
Exactly.
Definitely. Right, so from one big chopper to a slightly small chopper, would you say, Nev?
Yes. Well, there's a bit of a rotary theme tonight on the show, isn't there? So, we had a great meet-up over at Beccles. Some listeners came to join us and had a thoroughly good time. The weather was reasonable, actually, as it turned out. Not too bad at all. Quite humid, wasn't it? But you had a bit of a treat, didn't you? So you're going to tell us all about it now.
Yes, so I got a little treat while we were there on Saturday because Stuart O'Neill, who most of us will know, he's been on the show a while back now, but Stuart is now enjoying his job within a European airline. He's loving life at the moment. But he was there on Saturday and he was at a music concert, which was probably about 6 or 7 miles away, and messaged me to say that would I like to go for a ride in his helicopter. So he flew over and picked me up, and we were in I've got to pronounce this correctly now, a Gimbal Cabri G2 helicopter. You'll see it on the video in a minute, guys, but it is, how shall I put this? It's very small, very comfortable inside with two of you. So we're going to go over to Beccles now, and here's a little video that Nev put together of me and Stuart taking off from Beccles. This is what you do, like the kind of like the run-up thing where you check your controls are working correctly.
Okay, yeah.
Which Stuart was running through, because you do have checklists just like you do in a fixed-wing aircraft. And then calling obviously to ATC. It's a non-controlled area, but we do have a control room. And then heading off over the fields. This is heading off to this will be the west, heading off westerly towards Bungay, where I live here, me and Matt live here. You'll probably see on the video there now, that's looking down the main runway there at Beccles, which is a kind of half and half. It's half tarmac and half grass, for those of you who may have flown from there. And just from the video, you'll see the parachute school on the left there with the Cessna Caravan with the jump team there. They were doing quite a lot of jumping that day, weren't they, Nev? There was a lot of activity in the air there. And you'll just see 09, which has the solar panel farm just off the start of the runway there, which always made for...
Is that the go-karting place now?
And that is the go-kart track.
Blimey!
Which is just around.
That's had an upgrade.
Yeah. And heading off towards where me and Matt live here, where we are actually now. We are very close there. There's Bungay, the village of Bungay, where me and Matt live, and one of our biggest employers there. On the picture you'll see that big factory, well, that was Clay's, the book printers. Heading off now towards Seething, which is where we had a meet-up a few years back now. Now this is where the music festival was being held at the weekend, so Stuart decided in his infinite wisdom that we would go and, well, give the people who are at the music festival a treat to see us coming in there. You'll probably see on the video there now, that's Seething Airfield coming up on there. On the right hand side of the picture there is the clubhouse, the hangars, where they have the large hangar with the rotating floor with the aircraft in, which you may have seen on previous shows with us when we've been there. And just where those cars and everything is here, just coming up, is where the music festival is being held, and that is actually there where the museum is. If you've not been there before, Seething does have a kind of a control tower museum, which you'll probably see on the video in just a moment. As you can see, the music festival in full swing. On one of the taxiways, that's actually where you enter Seething Airfield in a car through the barriers. And there is a great view of everyone who was there the weekend. As you can see, the weather was great, and we were not very high, I will say. I think, I forget what height we're at, probably at 300 or 400 feet thereabouts. But everyone very much enjoying us flying over. I didn't know whether they thought I was a celebrity or something, but...
Well, I doubt it.
I doubt it. I should have hung my PTUK shirt out of the window, but as you can see, Seething's got a fairly sizable, decent-sized runway there to use. And you'll see the club there on the video now, with the clubhouse with the hangars, where there is various bits and pieces going on in the hangars there, including restoration work, which is quite interesting to see. If you've not had a chance, or if you do live in the area and you've not been to Seething, they do welcome visitors there. If you'd like to go and speak to the team there, they're more than happy to show you around the airfield and the hangars there. So that is interesting. Me and Nev got the opportunity, didn't we, Nev, to have a good walk around and
yeah, and also the guys and girls there are really knowledgeable as well, and so it was really interesting to go and see them there, I must say. Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yes, and just flying one last time over the music festival and back into Beccles. Got the solar panel farm there at coming up to the threshold of 09, which during the summertime made for some very interesting approaches onto that runway in the centre.
So why is the runway 2/3 tarmac and 1/3 grass? I've never quite understood.
Actually, Nev, good question, one which I have asked as well. The reason is because the Beccles airfield is leased. It's leased, the actual airfield, and they won't allow, or the people who own the land won't allow that grassed area to be tarmacked or concreted over, because it's classed as an arable kind of a field kind of thing, even though it's kept trimmed and used as part of 27, runway 27.
Well, I remember when Al and I took off from 27, the transition between the grass and the tarmac is substantial, I would say, isn't it? It's quite bumpy.
But the guys at Virage Helicopter Academy, who run the site now, have done a really good job there at Beccles. Good restaurant, good bar, and lots to see and do for the kids as well. If you've got kids, they've got a double-decker bus there on site, which you can take the kids up on as well to overlook the runway. And as you said, they've got a really good setup there now. It's a lovely airfield to fly into. I think actually Nev, the flying reporter, I forget his name now.
John Hunt, yes. John flew in there, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And he rated the airfield as well. So airfield. And just coming into land there, back at the heli centre, where the hangar is, where they put the aircraft to sleep. But no, really enjoyable flight. Had not been up in a helicopter for a lot of years. It was probably in my 20s the last time I flew in a helicopter. I think that was at Henham Steam Rally, actually, Matt.
Oh, wow.
Remember that one. But yeah, I'm going to say I prefer fixed wing. It's always going to be the case, and I can see why helicopter flying is loved so much, because it is a whole different experience when you're flying at low level over fields. It is blooming Larry, to say the least.
Terrifying, I think, is the word you're looking for.
But yeah, it's a good experience. I'm glad I've done it. It was good to have a go and obviously speak to Stuart while we were flying and stuff, and catch up with him as well, because he is, as I said, he is well in truly working his back end off with the airline that he's now flying for. So thanks again, Stuart, for allowing me to come flying with you in the helicopter. Yeah, it's a good thing. But something that appeals to you, Andy, being the commercial airline pilot you are?
What, helicopters?
Yeah.
I've flown a few in the past and they scare the life out of me. It's not flying, it's beating air into submission, in my opinion.
Very much agreed.
But, each to their own.
I think from getting from A to B, it is, in our area, is handy to have that ability to rent a helicopter, definitely. But one thing I will say that is one of the big things you definitely do notice a difference is the visibility in there is incredible. The amount that you can see when you're sitting there is really fantastic. But yeah, so there we go. Thanks again, and thanks to everyone who came on Saturday. Thanks to Nev for travelling up from Buckinghamshire, and obviously thanks to Nick as well for driving over. It was great to see you, and obviously Matt as well. You joined us as well for the day.
I didn't travel anywhere near as far as anybody else, to be fair.
No. But, yeah, it was a great day, and hopefully we'll do it again next year. And obviously thanks to Captain Al as well for visiting us in the PA 28. Always good to see an N-registered aircraft in Beccles. So there we go. I'll be putting some pictures up on the social media very soon. Also some that listener Sturman, who's in the chat room, took as well. We took some great shots actually when we were there, so I'll put them up on social media soon as well. But moving on, next, Nev, you've got news on the competition.
Yes, we had some email weirdness during the week, so we're going to roll the competition over again until next week, if that's okay with everybody. But this week's quiz question is, when was the Tornado GR4 retired from RAF service? and we do need the exact date. So the question again, when was the Tornado GR4 retired from RAF service? And the prize is from our chums at Grub Street Publishing. It's called Flying Through the Ranks, the extraordinary experiences of airmen to air marshals from the Cold War to the Gulf. And it's written by G.A. Black Robertson. So really nice prize as well. So if you would like to enter the competition, please do so by sending your answer to podcast@planetalkinguk.com, and we will pick out the winners in next week's show.
There you go. Easy as that. Nick, you've got a special message, haven't you, for our listeners, audio listeners as well?
Well, I'm beginning to wonder if we actually have any listeners. I'm not sure, because I keep asking for people to write in and give us feedback, and nobody's doing it. And I'm wondering if it's just us lot. We all just sit around, talk about food a bit, sometimes chat a bit about airplanes. But does anyone actually listen? Maybe they'll get in touch and let us know. Who knows?
I see
anyway,
what you did there. Yeah. Right, here we go. Yeah.
I bet they won't send us an email. Anyway, yeah. Write in. Send us an email. Send us a video. Send us a voice memo. Whatever you like. Pictures. Yeah, we want to hear from you, because if you send stuff in, we'll probably play it out on the show, and it would be really lovely to hear your aviation stories, and also tell us what you like about the show, or tell us what you think we could do better.
More food.
Yeah, more about food. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think that's what they're going to say.
Do you not?
No.
That's assuming we do have any listeners.
Now who's
to say?
We've got one last meet-up coming up very soon, haven't we, Nev? Where are we off to in September?
Yes, we're going to the Duxford Battle of Britain air display at Duxford, and we're going to be there on the Saturday the 14th of September. And it's actually on for 2 days. We're going to be there on the first day. So the entertainment is from 8 p.m. till 6 p.m. and the flying starts at approximately 1 p.m. Bit of a note here, there are advance tickets only. You can't just turn up and buy tickets on the door. So you've got to book those in advance directly with the museum. Tickets are from £49.50 with a £5 car parking fee as well. Children aged under 15 go free with standard tickets only, and Imperial War Museum members save 10%. I say we're going to be there on Saturday the 14th of September. In fact, though, I shall be there next Tuesday because I'm doing an interview. And I shall be going to interview Amanda Harrison. She's based up at Duxford, and she has written this fantastic book called Solo to Darwin. It's, if you can just about see that, hopefully, it's her story about how she attempted to go to Darwin in Australia in a very basic aircraft, shall we say. So I'm going to do some interviewing with her next Tuesday. I've already read the book and listened to the audio book as well. Absolutely fascinating. So I'm going to ask Amanda if she will sign the book for me, and then we can give that away as a prize as well. So I'm looking forward to doing that on Tuesday of next week.
Oh, that'll be nice, Nev. Nice prize to give away.
Yeah.
So, social media links. Andy, you can do that this week. Where can people find us in the world of social media?
Well, they can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it, and Instagram, simply by searching for Plane Talking UK, all one word. You can email us, podcast@planetalkinguk.com, and you can also find our website, www.planetalkinguk.com. And of course, follow us on YouTube and subscribe to get notifications when the chat room goes live for our weekly filming.
There we go. It's as easy as that. And you can also send lots of emails in to Nick now. I know the chat room just mentioned that there may be some, maybe a few messages coming your way, Nick.
Will any of them be broadcastable is my concern.
Yes. Unlike all of Captain Al's stories on Saturday night.
Oh, my word. Yes.
Oh, he's a dirty boy, isn't he?
Can you imagine if we recorded an ounce of Saturday night's conversation?
That would require a lot of editing.
Yeah,
That's all I can say. Yeah.
And a lot of letters to Ofcom as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, and that's not a fun hobby.
No. Right,
Love
so
that.
quick check round to see what all the guys are up to before we wrap up the show. Let's start with Nick this week. Nick, what's going on in the world of Nick this week?
Oh, well, I'm very pleased to report that the little Ducati has a new clutch and it actually works.
Oh, that's a bonus.
But yeah, I took it out for a ride yesterday, and then when I got home, I realised that the number plate was hanging off. So, yes, it's the motorbike that keeps on giving.
To the people behind you.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Nev, what's happening? When are you off on planes again next, Nev? We need
not for a while, actually, not until September. I've got an Edinburgh trip planned in September, and nothing really before then, actually. So, because a lot of my customers are away on holiday at the moment, and they do not want to see me or even hear from me, it's a little bit quiet for the next couple of weeks. I say I'm going to Duxford on Tuesday of next week to interview Amanda, so I'm really looking forward to that. So yes, it's sort of administration and catching up with all those things that I haven't got time to do normally. Maybe clear up the studio as well a bit, because it's a bit of a tip at the moment.
Oh, it looks quite tidy behind you.
Yeah, if you saw the real studio, it does not look as nice as the backdrop.
Andy, what's happening in the busy life of Andy?
Work. I am home tomorrow, and then Friday night I've got to go south for the weekend to work in the sim centre. But then I am home all next week, which is a rare thing. So I will be seeing you all next week.
Oh, lovely job.
Excellent.
And Mr. Smith?
I'm off to some balloon festival all weekend, so I'm hopeful that I might come back with an interview or two. So I will see what I can do.
Or a tan?
Or a tan, yeah. Either of those. I'll take any of those.
Good.
But yeah, going to try and see if I can have a chat with a few ballooning type people.
That'd be nice.
Indeed.
And I'm off this week, as we know. I'm on my hollybobs this week at home, albeit at home. But I'm off this Friday to go and see Becky Hill in concert at Newmarket. So that'll be good. So I'm going to go and do a.
Are you going to the GGs as well?
I'm going to the G. Me and Gemma are going to the GGs. I may have a little flutter, and then in the evening we're going to see Becky Hill live in concert at Newmarket. So I'm looking forward to that immensely. And then on Saturday we are going to have some, because Gemma's been very busy the last 3 years, so we're going to have some couple time this weekend and have a weekend in Cambridge, which would be nice. Looking forward to that. So yes. Very much looking forward to that. But anyway, right, time to wrap up the show. Don't forget, thanks to everyone again for joining us this evening. Thanks to all the chat room for tuning in tonight. It's been great to see you all in there. Thank you all very much indeed. And also a big thanks to everyone who listens to us as an audio download, because I know a lot of you do download the show each week across the globe. So thanks to everyone for tuning in, downloading the show. And yeah, have a great rest of the week. So from me, here in the home studio, from Matt in the P2UK Master Suite studios, from Nev in his home studio, and from Andy in his pub studio, and from Nick as well in his home studio. Take care, have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you all next week. Say goodbye, Andy.
Bye, Andy.
Have to mind you, mine's well out of warranty now, I expect.
Yeah, I think they all are. Yes, apologies for the audio issues with Carlos there towards the end of the show. I did try and compensate as best I can, but especially when Nev spoke, well, my ears started to bleed as the volume levels quadrupled.
Oops.
No, all good. Oh, sorry, they're just looking at the graphic. That's not very exciting for everyone. There we go.
Bit graphic.
Yeah. In it. Never mind. Anyway, we got there in the end.
I hope everyone's looking forward to next Wednesday or Thursday when we're supposed to experience 30 degrees Celsius here.
Oh, God, really?
Not for long, though. It's only for a couple of days, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
10 seconds, no doubt.
And then winter.
Yeah.
Oh, next Monday. The 12th of August.
Oh, your birthday. Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah, lovely.
The hottest day of the year.
Of course it is.
Yeah. And I'm at work.
Yeah, the sun always shines on the something or other.
On TV?
Yeah, that's it.
Good song, that is.
An ancient proverb, Matt. Was that what you were saying?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. We'll go with that. Why not?
So how many balloons are expected at the festival, Matt?
You're asking me questions that I should know the answer to and don't, I'm afraid.
Hopefully it'll be more. It'll be better than last year, because last year Matt was there and it was winded off.
Yeah, I mean, there was lots of music and all that kind of thing there, but because, people had come to see balloons fly, and so it was a bit disappointing that it
flying in the loosest possible terms of the word.
Indeed, yeah, literally. Yeah. But there we go. It is what it is. It's the joys of living in the UK. It's a dangerous game planning anything ever.
Although the forecast for where you are Saturday, Matt, is looking very good.
Yeah, we're hoping that what I need is the weather to be good Friday night. Tomorrow.
Oh, right, okay.
Friday night, ideally.
Yeah, Friday's good.
Yeah, okay, that works.
Really good.
Yeah, well, that is something at least. Yeah, we'll see what we can do with that then. Never mind, eh?
Can't believe that. 30 degrees next Monday.
Going to be a bit tropical.
We had that in my office last week. I'm not even kidding.
That's definitely suboptimal, I think, as Nev would like to put that.
Not ideal.
Yeah, less than pleasant. But there we go. Yeah, funny old business. So I'm going to be at
Old Buckingham.
Old Buckingham, which is Old Buckingham Country Park. Staying there all weekend from tomorrow night on. From tomorrow night onwards and come home Monday. So that's going to be nice. It's going to be like having a little bit of a mini holiday. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Well, at least the weather forecast is good for you.
Absolutely. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
Not long.
I have to say, I was a little bit disappointed I didn't have a bit more time on the way back at the weekend, because I got quite excited when I drove past Thorpe Abbott's.
Oh, of course. Yes. Yeah.
So and they had a big sign out the front saying that it was where the Masters of the Air series was obviously set, and it would have been nice to have had a little bit of extra time to pop in there.
Yeah, I bet.
Next time you're down, Nick, we'll take you. Me and Matt will take you to the Flixton Aviation Museum and then Thorpe Abbott's.
That'd be good. Next time I just pop across to Suffolk.
Yes, absolutely.
You just drop in for tea and biscuits.
Yeah, absolutely. Just up to road.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I even managed to get lost on the way home. So
did you? Oh, that's less than that's definitely suboptimal.
I'll tell you what. Al didn't take long to get back to Liverpool.
Of course he didn't.
He done it in less than 2 hours.
Did he? I assume that's normal for.
It's fairly swift from where we are here to Liverpool John Lennon Airport. Yeah, he had quite a direct route as well. Quite a direct route.
That's the joys of flying, isn't it? Just go straight line.
Yeah.
Literally describing the beast. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you what,
we finished early tonight.
We did.
We've done well.
Might go and have a beer outside.
It's nearly dark, dear.
No thanks.
That's what Timu LED lights are for.
Oh my gosh.
You're single-handedly keeping an Amazon driver fully occupied and employed, aren't you?
With your 100%.
Are you on first name terms?
Always. Yeah, he has been since birth,
always.
to be fair. Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I had a satellite modem delivered today. Exciting, isn't it?
What was that for Park?
Yeah, the satellite that we have, the modem has finally failed. It stopped doling out IP addresses, so I managed to find an alternative. Yeah, so that's so the old PT UK satellite gets an airing this weekend because old Buckingham has no mobile phone signal.
I was actually quite surprised this afternoon. We were down at the Gulls and Locks pub, which is just down the road, as Matt will know.
Yeah, lovely pub.
It is in the back end of Beyond.
It is a bit of a,
to the point where the pub has a generator because there's no electricity down.
Yeah.
But full 4G service.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's never never an issue.
But it was absolutely packed.
Yeah, the weather's nice, it often is.
Every table was packed full of people eating food there. It was incredible.
Indeed. Sorry, you were trying to say, Nev. Was that you?
I'm not sure if I was, but we just found out that on the 14th, our American 757 pilot, that's not his airline, but that's his nationality, is joining us. Sam's coming over into Duxford, so we shall see him there as well.
Good.
Lovely.
Put himself up in an Airbnb in one of the local villages.
Love that.
And we shall see him on Saturday, the 14th. So I'm looking forward to that very much.
That's cool.
Did you say you might get down, Andy, or probably not with the work schedule and stuff?
No, the entire week before, I'm not at home for 9 days, and that's when I'm doing my mad trip around Gatwick, Milan, Geneva.
Okay.
You can always fly into Duxford. The runway is long enough.
You get in, you might not get out.
I could probably get back out. It might be a push.
I wouldn't recommend pushing. Definitely not. That's.
Oh no, I'll get you to do that, man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Do I look like somebody who's capable of that? No. Yeah, I'm useful if you need a cuddle, then that works. But like anything else, that's it. I'm out.
Right, we better say goodbye to our beautiful chat room peoples for the rest of the week. So thanks to everyone in the chat room as always. Thanks for joining us this evening. Much appreciated to all you out there. And have a great rest of the week and weekend. Nev, final words from you.
Yes, hope everyone has a nice week, the remainder of the week and the weekend, and we'll be back same time next week at 7 o'clock UK time on Wednesday. And in the meantime, bye for now.